A possible railway connecting Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. A best-selling author visits Canyon View Middle School. And Miss Greater Zion's plans to help the community.
You're watching St. George News at 5.
Good afternoon. I'm Christy Langenheim. Utah Department of Transportation officials are exploring the idea of bringing back passenger rail service between Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. Mark Kessler has the full coverage.
The Utah Department of Transportation is exploring the potential for rail service between Salt Lake City and Las Vegas and has applied to the Federal Rail Administration for a grant to fund a feasibility study. The UDOT plans call for the conversion of abandoned Amtrak rail lines into a new route that could pass through Washington County, either by way of new track laid between Cedar City and Mesquite, Nevada, or a shuttle service connecting travelers to the line proper. The Federal Rail Administration is expected to award or deny the grant submission sometime in October. If funded, the study will examine the overall feasibility of the rail line only, and it's not a guarantee that it will be built.
Thanks, Maury. Best-selling author Richard Paul Evans, best known for his Michael Vey series, visited Canyon View Middle School and gave an inspiring speech to the middle schoolers. Here's Jeff Richards with the story.
Best-selling author Richard Paul Evans spoke to hundreds of Canyon View Middle School students on Friday, encouraging them to each find their own superpower. Evans lives with Tourette's syndrome, much like the titular teenage hero in his popular Michael Vey book series.
Are you different than others? Absolutely. Your superpower comes from what you're different at.
Evans challenged the students to find out their hidden talents and develop them until it changes your life and changes the world. After the assembly, dozens of young fans took the stage to have Evans autograph copies of his books.
Thanks, Jeff. There's been a noticeable drop in flights in and out of St. George. However, SkyWest Airlines says they have no worries. Mark Kessler has more on the story.
If you've noticed a drop in flights in and out of the St. George Airport over the summer, you're not the only one. It is something St. George news readers have asked about and was followed up on during a recent visit to the airport. According to airport and airline officials, having a dip in the summer is a regular occurrence, as not as many people are flying as there are in the fall and winter. At one point, there were 6 daily flights in and out of the airport where there were once 15. This has since increased to 10 flights per day. Outside of the ups and downs of the seasonal demands are the lingering impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic and the pilot shortage. However, SkyWest Airlines spokeswoman Marissa Snow said the airline and St. George have fared better than other commercial airlines and locations during and after the pandemic. SkyWest has also been able to hire new flight captains despite the ongoing pilot shortage.
Thanks, Maury. Springdale Town Council members are seeking input for upgrades to the beloved George A. Barker River Park. Here's Stephanie DeGraw with the story.
Springdale residents are invited to comment on the future of the George A. Barker River Park. Comments can be sent to the Parks and Recreation Department. There will also be an open house for upgrades in the park on October 26th. The park borders the Virgin River to the east before the Chevron gas station, heading towards Zion National Park. Some of the park on the west side runs along Zion Park Boulevard. The director of Parks and Recreation for Springdale, Ryan Gubler, said the park is very special to the community.
Alicia Johnston, the winner of last year's Miss Washington County and this year's Miss Greater Zion, looks to make children's sports dreams a reality. Here's Alicia Lundgren with the story.
Last year's Miss Washington County, Alicia Johnston, has returned to serve her community with a new title, Miss Greater Zion, and she wants to make some children's sports dreams come true. At last year's Miss Washington County competition, Johnston explained what inspired the Monthly Move project.
13% of the St. George population is in poverty currently. In 2021, this was approximately 12,289 people, some left with no homes. With my Monthly Move project, children in the Switch Point Homeless Shelter will receive opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't have before.
The project encourages children to explore sports they're passionate about or just curious about, but she's seeking local businesses to sponsor each child in the program.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. I'm Christine Langenheim with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5.